Jake Tapper, we begin with the turmoil roiling the Trump presidency. President Trump today lashing out after a 1-2 punch, exposing senior officials in his administration expressing concern about his temperament, his impulsiveness, his studiousness, and more. Most recently laid bare in a stunning New York Times op-ed written by an anonymous senior Trump administration official in today's newspaper, as well as in the pending book by Bob Woodward, based on hundreds of hours of taped interviews and dozens of sources in President Trump's inner circle. But the truth of the matter is these new detailed accounts only confirm the concerns and fears that we've been reporting for more than a year and a half, concerns expressed in various stories in CNN, the New York Times, Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, and on and on. Republicans today publicly admitting, yeah, there are lots of Trump people who have these concerns about the president.
It's just so similar to what so many of us hear from senior people around the White House, 3 times a week. So it's really troubling and yet, in a way, not surprising.
It's all of a piece, really. Anthony Scaramucci, the short-lived former White House communications director, described at the time senior administration officials protecting the country from the president. This was July 2017. He saw them in a negative light. We covered that on the show.
There are people inside the administration that think it is their job to save America from this president. Okay, that is not their job. Their job is to inject this president into America.
What are these Trump administration officials doing to rein in President Trump, and why do they feel the need to do so? Why are they so concerned about the president's behavior that they think they have to, quote, save America from this president? Then in October, the Republican chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Corker, he described senior aides to the president as containing him and serving as what he called a adult daycare center.
I think Secretary Tillerson, Secretary Mattis, and Chief of Staff Kelly are those people that help separate our country from chaos.
Now, allies of the president suggest that the smartest strategy for the White House today would be to ignore this New York Times op-ed, not give it oxygen, not lend it credibility. Instead, of course, we've seen a river of denials from Vice President Mike Pence to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, and on, each one insisting he or she did not author the anonymous New York Times op-ed. Now, of course, each denial only serves to keep this story alive, and each denial lends credence to the possibility that it could have been that person, Vice President Pence, Secretary of State Pompeo, anyone else. So why do these statements of denial keep coming? Well, a top White House official tells CNN's Jeff Zeleny that the president has clearly sent a signal he likes it when his top officials issue these denials. Recall just yesterday, he praised Defense Secretary Mattis and others who denied some of the statements attributed to them in the Bob Woodward book.
He wrote the most beautiful statement. I appreciated the statement of John Kelly, and I appreciated the statement of many others.
These new denial statements, the source tells Jeff Zeleny, today are being printed out and hand-delivered to President Trump for him to read. Now, this all might seem a self-defeating strategy. Perhaps one might even call it impetuous, petty, ineffective. And one might recall the senior Trump administration official writing in the op-ed in today's newspaper, quote, the president's leadership style is impetuous, petty, and ineffective. There might be a better way for a president to rebut these accounts from senior administration officials that are harsh and very critical than to confirm the very qualities in his reaction.